Also, yeah. Um, so today I'll go to the store to get a computer mouse. That's why I'm walking in the forest. Figure it's good for me to like walk for 8 kilometers or so that it will take me to get there. So yeah, uh, it's quite cold actually. It's 13 degrees, but it feels cooler. Um, I'm wearing both a jacket and like a jacket underneath it, so at least I won't be very cold. um, yeah. So today it's been normal. Just did some stuff for work, like the Scrum master. He told us that maybe we'd get a contract extension, so if we produce enough function points, that means that I'll have to work much harder than, I mean, if it's even possible, but yeah, I suppose it is. It means that I'll have to work a lot harder on my job, and I don't know. Guess I don't really like that because I had planned for these 3 months to be a little bit more about me and a little bit less about um, yeah, about my job, because these were supposed to be the final 3 months. I suppose it's not gonna happen. I'll have to do a lot more overtime now. Yeah, kind of sucks that I'll never be able to get those results that they want, because like our computer programming stack is just, you know, terribly outdated, and yeah, these days web development is done in interpreted languages, which means that the machine executes the code pretty much as you type it in, you know. So it means a really fast, really short time frame between typing stuff and seeing it reflected on your browser. But what we're doing is we're working with a compiled language that takes ages to build, and that language is Java. I would say never use anything like Java or C++ or C or C# actually for web development, because it's just gonna be a pain in the ass. Maybe C# isn't that bad, but yeah, the others are. Just wait for it to build, and then you need to refresh the server. I mean, this is terrible, isn't it? Like, if you're on Python or PHP and like change your code, and you know, maybe maybe you need to restart the server, but that's unlikely, and you can just to refresh your screen and it's done. It's that easy. Yeah. Certainly you don't need to bother with those age long builds. Not much we can do about that. Also, like, the cost of errors is so much higher in compiled languages. Like, you make an error, happens. It happens a lot actually. And next thing you know, they need to find out what error am I having. Okay, great. So far so good. Now you correct your error. Then you need to wait for an entire build to pass. And only after you can see whether the problem is fixed or not. So yeah, if you make 20 errors before you get it right, and each build takes 20 minutes, then you can calculate how long it takes before you can get it done. And that's if you type instantaneously. Like, of course, nobody types instantaneously. Yeah, so like 20 minutes. Say 10 errors. That's 200 minutes. That's like, I don't know, how much is that? 60 times 4 is 240. So it's like slightly less than 4 hours. Well, obviously usually, like, you make more errors than this, and it takes more time. In an interpreted language, each restart might maybe take 30 seconds, and well, assuming instantaneous coding, your 10 error piece of code might be done in 10 times 30 seconds. 300 seconds is 6 minutes. That's insane. Differences are just insane. On top of that, you also get more errors because, well, you're using a compiled stack, and like, it's basically turtles all the way down. You very easily get errors that seem to have absolutely nothing to do with your code. Yeah. So yeah, it's just not the way of the future, These days we have faster compiled languages like Go, which I think take a minute to compile, or something. That's okay, that's reasonable, right? Still a waste of time, but yeah. I guess the ideal language would have both a good interpreter and a compiler. So like, you could do development in the with the interpreter, and then do your production deployment by passing it through an optimizing compiler, and that way your compiled code will also be fast. I think actually a lot of interpreted languages these days use a just-in-time compiler, but I'm not sure whether that is always going to be as fast as like a proper compiler, like in production at least. I mean, for development, interpreter is way better. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the difference between compiled and interpreted languages. Like, somebody might tell you that there's another difference, that compilation protects against a whole class of bugs. In practice, yeah, that's true, but you're not very likely to make those kinds of very basic errors. Like, those are typecasting errors, you know, like if you want to do a calculation, you cannot do that with a word, right? Like, I can add 1 and 1, but I cannot add the word monkey to the word ape, because that's bullshit. The compiler might throw an error if you try to do that. Interpreter won't. Yeah, I guess if you try to add like a monkey and an ape, then you're stupid and you don't belong in this profession. Yeah. Like, there are also ways to like undercut that, because it's not a matter of compilation, it's a matter of strong or weak typing. Like, you could have your interpreted languages support typing only. You will only find out about your problems on runtime, which shouldn't be a problem, because, well, you're testing your code, right? If you're not testing your code, you're stupid and you don't belong in the profession. So, yeah, I don't know what the why is for people who still advocate compilation for like non-high performance code, because I get the argument for high performance code. Like web development, just using a compiled language like Java or C, or I don't know, I guess there's a bunch of other ones like Rust or Go, or I don't know, C#, yeah. Any of those, don't use them for web development. It's going to be a nightmare. And your friend who uses Python will be much faster than you. Yeah. So, I think I've been bitching enough about my job. Like, I'm gonna get myself a nice gaming mouse. How about that? Don't really pretend. I'm not really going to game that much, but it's for basically, like, this chick I'm dating, she likes those games as well, so we can play some together. And I mean, if we're just going to watch Netflix or play a game, then, you know, why not? Doesn't matter, both activities are actually wasteful, but not wasteful if you're doing it with like somebody you need to keep in your life, right? So yeah, gaming mouse it is. So yeah, trees are in autumn mode now. It's quite nice to see. Have a look at the trees. And now I'm gonna say goodbye to you all. See you next time.